All righty. Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Managing the studio and presenting and sharing with you. Sometimes it takes an additional hand or two. But anyway, I'm here. And so I want to talk about the death of your business and how to avoid it. And I'm going to talk about it in the context of our Legends Challenge, a Legends Challenge update, which we started yesterday. And it's not too late to join us, by the way, if you'd like to. Yesterday's first session was recorded and it's already loaded up into the members area. And the link is right there in the description. If you'd like to get some more information on that, you can see it on the screen as well. And this is why I decided to do this challenge again, because we're dealing with some major stuff in the economy, which we all know. And it's got quite a few people concerned and maybe downright scared. And we're talking about inflation, right? I think 8.6%, which is like 4 or 5, let's say that's 4 times the normal rate of where we want our economy to run. Now, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but when they calculate those inflation numbers, they don't calculate food and gas. And that's where it's really kind of hitting us the hardest. So it's probably a lot higher than 8.6%. The debt is increasing. We're having the gap between the rich and the poor is getting wider and wider. Our imports and exports are totally out of balance. We're importing way more than we export. We're like the country or the globe's best customer. And and that best vendor typically right now is China. They're strengthening in their economy. Our currency is being devalued. Eventually, we might not even be the reserve currency anymore if it continues down this path. In the education system and the way our country is being divided, we're becoming less and less patriotic, and we're pointing our fingers, and we're just turning into a country of angry victims, really. And this should cause some concern for sure, because public sentiment has a lot to do with which way the economy actually goes. If we're going into a recession or if we go into something called stagflation, which is a very scary possibility, because there are a lot of things right now that are just outside of our control that will be affecting us in the future. Now, we don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did, because I'd be making some really good calls right now if I did. But it seems fairly reasonable to expect or to start planning for some things that are likely to happen. And it's going to cause us to, or it's going to require us, if we want to pull through this, to act in a very certain way and take some very specific actions, because a lot of wealth is built in times like this, where everybody's a little bit afraid, and there are some very specific things to do, and there's some very specific things not to do. So I think we should be planning for inflation to be sticking around for a little while. By all reports I'm seeing, another year or two. Could be longer, could be shorter. I think we should plan on the stock market hitting new lows. A lot of the experts are suggesting that. Some people think we're pretty close to there. If you're into cryptocurrency, that's probably going to continue a little bit of a decline. I don't see anything in the economy right now that's going to bring that positive consumer, what do they call it? The retail consumer back into the market anytime soon. I think funding is going to become a little bit more scarce when it comes to real estate. It's certainly getting more expensive, so your options are going to be limited, even if it doesn't leave. I think even to the point where hedge funds that have been buying a lot of real estate, I think they're putting the pause on a little bit to see what happens. Consumer behavior is changing. The unemployment, we're already seeing announcements of layoffs. I know Apple is one, I believe. Coinbase was one. There was another one I was thinking of, but it's happening. And so unemployment is probably going to start increasing. And then what is the housing market going to do? That's what we're all really concerned about, because that's the industry that we're in. I think it's certainly going to slow down. The sales activity is slowing down for sure. Prices haven't really shown any sort of correction yet. It's potential. I don't anticipate a crash, but I wouldn't be surprised if we pulled back a little bit. And we're certainly going to start seeing longer days on market. You're going to see pickier buyers. The mortgage applications are down and declining, so less and less retail buyers are out there. It's really impacting mostly your first-time home buyers and your middle class. The wealthy haven't really felt it yet, and then there's definitely signs that they are still buying. They're buying investment properties, they're buying second homes, vacation homes, stuff like that. So basically, overall, we're going to need to plan for a recession lasting for potentially a couple years. I need to plan for. So what is there to do inside of that? Well, I got a few things that you're going to want to do, and something that we're doing here in our household as well, is analyze and look at all of your discretionary spending at the moment. And and see what needs to be cut. What can you cut? Some of those luxuries that you've been become accustomed to, are they really essential? So look for there. Look at your consumer debt. Certainly don't want to pile too much more onto that, and you would like to probably allocate some funds to start pulling back on that. As the interest rates rise, if you have adjustable credit cards, those payments are going to start increasing too. So you want to try attacking those while you can. And then with all that money that you're saving, you're going to want to building your cash reserves with what you're able to save. And but the bigger focus is really going to be on taking a total offensive approach on your income. Because with prices rising, we're kind of in a situation, they're rising so fast, with inflation rising so fast, we can't save enough fast enough for it to have a real impact. And sitting still and waiting for this thing to blow over could cause some real financial harm to a lot of people. So we got to really focus on income, whether that's going into your job and asking for a raise, whether it's taking on a second job, or you go on and take on an asset class or learn a new skill, which is what a lot of people do during a recession. Is they'll go back to school to increase their skills or to learn new skills. So some of the things that you might want to look at is learning how to flip properties. We're at Epic Real Estate. This is what we do here. Whether you're flipping properties after you fix them, whether you are flipping them without fixing them, or whether you're just flipping the contracts that you get under your control. You're going to learn how to create cash flow. You want to increase your income that way with passive income. Might not be enough hours in the day for us all to keep up with inflation. And then ideally, you want to learn creative techniques, creative approaches, creative strategies to learn to do both, to get cash and cash flow out of every property that you come across, every seller that you talk to. And I think right now, potentially, there are some small signs of it happening right now, nothing blatant, but some small signs that there's going to be a lot of people feeling a lot of pain here in the near future. And that pain is going to be could be resolved by finances, and they're not going to have it. And there's going to be a lot of property owners that are going to be turning to their properties for financial relief. And that's where we can come in and give them some peace of mind and get some equity in exchange. And I think right now, over the next few years, it could potentially be easier for the first-time real estate investor, the brand new real estate investor, than it has been for a while. When property prices are going up so fast and sellers are used to hearing that, and they see it, and they feel it, the opportunities for discounts become smaller and smaller and smaller. But I think that opportunity is going to start shifting in the other direction. So I want to show you what I went through with the Epic Legends yesterday during our first session of the Legends Challenge, of what you actually need in your business to thrive, right? To pull through this. And it's not too late to join us, by the way. If you'd like to go and catch up with us, you can go to thelegendschallenge.com and do that. Let me see right over here. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Damon, the link in the show notes has, what does that say? The link in the show notes has S at the end of challenge. It resolves to the wrong URL. Oh, well, thank you for saying that. So thanks, Damon. So it should be thelegendschallenge.com. I'll just put that here in the, I'll fix it afterwards. Appreciate that. For sharing that. Okay, so I went over this yesterday. Let me share my screen here real quickly. And then I was just looking at some properties, but let me see if you guys can see that now. Perfect. So this is the mind map that we use as our instructional tool inside of the Legends Challenge. And I'll zoom in on what we did on session 1. And there's one section that we talked about yesterday I really want to focus on. Because if you're going to become a real estate investor and create a business out of this, if you're going to take an offensive approach on your finances, then your business is going to need several things, okay? So we talked about what the challenge is, and we talked about how it works, and then what the actual success plan is to help everybody get their contract signed within the next 10 days. That's the goal. That's what the whole challenge is about, getting a contract signed in the next 10 days. But what your business needs are, so I'll open these up. So there's several things that you're going to need in your business. I got 1, 2, 3, 6 of them that I came up with. You got to know why you're in business in the first place. And that's kind of a little bit of a platitude, I guess. It's kind of commonly known, but what does that really mean? When people are like, why am I doing this? Well, I want more money or whatever it may be. But I came up with some different things, but it has to be something for you to really succeed and push through. particularly if you've been struggling with succeeding in real estate, or you've been trying to get started and you get a little stuck, it has to be something as if your life depends on it. It really does. It has to be that straightforward. It has to be as if what's most important to you depends on it. Because this is what I see frequently, that people come into real estate, is they start sacrificing what they want right now for what they want most. People get involved in real estate because they want to be wealthy. They want to be financially free. They want to be financially independent. They want to stop working for that mean old boss. They want to stop being accountable to the time clock, right? They want to get out of the rat race. That's what they want most. But when it comes time to go ahead and do the work, they might opt for a nap because that's what they want right now. Or they might opt to go learn a little bit more before they actually take the action because they feel like they're lacking the confidence. And that's what they want right now, is some confidence right now. But what was really going to translate into what you want most is taking action right now, and not the nap, or not, I'm going to read a book, or I'm going to watch this TV show, then I'll get to work, whatever it may be. That's a big thing. So you got to sacrifice what you want right now for what you want most. And so most people are going to turn to their families. That's going to be the most important thing to them. And, or whatever it is that you love most in life, make it about that, so you can spend more time with that, or you can spend more time doing that. So that's why. Second is, you got to be a real business. If you treat the real estate like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. If you treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. I would say real estate is probably the the lowest paying easy work. And it's the highest paying hard work. And anything worthwhile, you've got to work hard for it, right? So if you have to work hard, then you might as well get involved and get started in the thing that's going to pay you the most. And that's what I think real estate is. And that's what I chose it initially. And it's treated me really well because I treated it like a business. So step one for them was to set up their business, to set up an actual business. And if you don't have an LLC or an entity yet, who knows which one you're actually going to need. I got together with some friends, made some arrangements for you to make it really, really easy and almost free. You can go to freeentity.com. That's pulling up right there, freeentity.com. And that'll take right there. And they'll spend a good free to go ahead and see what it is you actually need in your business like a business. Okay? So that's over at freeentity.com. I can put that link over here on the screen as well. I'll put that in the description if it's not there already. Let's see. Captions, and make sure we can spell it right this time. There we go, freeentity.com. All right, I'll leave that up there for a sec. Let me go back over to our mind map here. The next thing you need is a steady flow of leads. Your leads are the fuel that runs the engine of your business. And if you don't have leads, then you're not going to have the opportunity, right? The more leads equal more opportunity. And it leads to better negotiations, which a lot of people don't actually consider, because you need leads for your business, but you don't need any one lead. And a lot of people get focused on that one lead or that one seller, and they're trying every single angle that they possibly can to go ahead and convert that into a deal. And if you do that, it's really difficult to walk away if you only got that one person. But if you got multiple leads, the more leads you got, the easier it is for you to walk away. And one thing you want to know about when it comes to negotiating, when you're afraid to walk away, you've already lost. So leads not only present, the more opportunity for you, the more opportunity for you to succeed. It also makes you a better negotiator. It doesn't make you as desperate. You don't compromise your standards as much. And so when we started off with leads, and there's two ways to create them. You can work for them, or you can pay for them. And when I started, I barely had 2 nickels to rub together. This was like 16 years ago now. And I only knew how to work for it. So I got my hustle on. And if anyone can show you how to do this business for free, it's certainly because that's exactly how I did it. But today, oh my God, it's so much easier. If you've got the means, you've got access to leverage. And so we went through that. And we showed them a few different places to go to. And this is the one I'm actually restarting my business right now, is with a cold calling virtual assistant, one that's going to work for me directly. They'll only work for me. And they're going to send out text messages and cold calls. They're going to screen everybody for me. And then they're just going to set me up with appointments. And that just keep on feeding them leads, and they just keep on calling. So that's over at vasforrealestate.com. I think this is one of the more speedier ways and cost-efficient ways to get leads and opportunities to you to have those appointments and have those good seller conversations than any other thing out there right now. It's really cost-effective. And then I gave them some direct mail and stuff like that, and some digital stuff and agencies. Next thing that you need, what a lot of people underestimate, is you need a good conversion process. You know why you're doing this. You've got your business up and running. You're treating it like a real business. You've got a steady flow of leads. But now when those leads come in, you've got to learn how to convert those leads to. So we got the conversion process of the lead to the contract, and then the contract to profit. If you get the lead to contract right, this second part, contract to profit, really, really easy. So we just focus a lot on getting this lead to contract, and we kind of took them through the expectations of sellers, the conversion quadrant, how to find cooperative sellers and create easy transactions, showed them where the actual deal is. We gave them the 9-point seller interview that helps them build rapport. It builds trust. The seller will have confidence in your competence, and they'll want to work with you, and it'll help you separate the suspects from the prospects. So you're only spending your time with those people that really want to work with you right now. And that's even if you know nothing about real estate, you've never done a deal before, and you can have a conversation with a seller and they will think you're an absolute expert just by that little seller interview that we have. And then we go through the quick and dirty analysis and what to do before the appointment, how to tour the property, whether that's in person, which I always recommend, or how to do it virtually and still lock up the deal. Okay. So we went through that, and then went through all the tools and resources. There's a bunch of stuff that you can get, but we went through just the bare minimum, and then most of it costs nothing. You need the computer and the printer and the phone number, or a phone. You need the 9-point seller interview. You need your 10 navigator scorecards. This is where we're going to keep track, how we're going to keep track of our activities and our results during the 10 days of the challenge. And then we're going to track our leads this way. And then just envelopes and stamps. That's the bare minimum. And I gave them a bunch of other optional stuff that can really utilize leverage and help them be a lot more efficient and spend a lot less time doing it. Okay. Then the last thing you need is you're going to need support, because you can have the best system in place. You can have all the resources, but at some point you're going to get stuck, right? There's a lesson in every single real estate transaction. And every time I have a transaction, there'll be something about that transaction that I've never experienced before. And so I go to and turn to support. I've got associates and people that are around me. So you need that community around you. So we offer support in a number of ways over the 10-day challenge. One is via video conference calls. We meet every Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to do that for 3.5 weeks. And then inside of those calls, we do the training, and there'll be some education, but it'll be almost all demonstration, because people really learn well when they're actually watching it be done. And that's what I'm doing on this challenge with everybody. And again, if you want to get the details, you can just go over to thelegendschallenge.com. And then Q&A. And I'm there for the Q&A and answer all their questions. We go through total deal analysis with them, and we look at their deals, and we get them back onto the conversations with sellers, teach them how to follow up. And in many cases, I just got off the phone with D'Angelo, a private client of mine, and we called a seller right there while he was on the Zoom call with me. So if it comes down to that, I'll just make those calls for him. All right. So that's the support there. And that's what I really want to focus on. So if your business doesn't have these things, it's going to be tough to pull through this new economy, this new environment that we're going through right now. So make sure you have those essentials. You got to know why you're doing it. You got to run it like a real business. Go get your free entity over at freeentity.com. And then you need a steady flow of leads. So whether you work for those or you pay for those, it's got to be steady. It's going to create more opportunity for you. It's going to make you a better negotiator. And then you need to know how to convert those leads into contracts. There's a lot of deals out there. There's a lot of opportunity out there, contrary to popular belief. But what there's not a lot of people that know how to convert. There's not a lot of skilled real estate investors that are skilled in that conversation, skilled in finding solutions for sellers. And if you get that down, then the sky's the limit. And you need some minimal tools and resources. Most of that stuff is free. It's how I got started, but there's some great resources right now that I've introduced everybody to where you can really expedite this. So if you're working a full-time job or you have limited number of hours, then that is available for you too. All right. So if this sounds like something you want to do, we'd love to have you. It's not too late. The first session was recorded yesterday. It is inside the Legends Challenge members area. You can go watch it and catch up with us, and we'll be right back here at 2:00 tomorrow. we'll go ahead and resume session 2. The official challenge starts on June 30th. So we're just doing like 3 sessions of prep, getting everybody ready to run. And I'm doing it right alongside with everybody. And I would love to have you. And let's see. Chris, he's in already. And Chris is in the Legends channel. So good to see you, buddy. And then I believe, oh, we don't want that. See, being the producer and the trainer at the same time. And Damon hit it right on the head. Real estate, it's the highest paying, consistent work. Fantastic. Yeah, we don't call it hard, right? No one wants to do hard work. But if you're consistent and persistent, it is the highest paying. Alrighty, so go to the legendschallenge.com and join us tomorrow. You can watch, as soon as you log in, you can go ahead and you can watch yesterday's session. You'll be all caught up and you'll be right caught up to speed with us tomorrow, okay? And if you want to make some money in real estate, and I don't think there's any greater opportunity or asset class or industry over the next few years, particularly because of the environment that we're in. The greatest hedge against inflation is going to be real estate, because as the value of our dollar decreases, then we need more of those dollars to buy the real estate. So the real estate is going up and up in price. And that's one part. So just by the value and the equity of the property is going to hedge you against inflation. And the second part is rents. Rents keep on rising. They're up, I think, 43% year over year nationally? Was it 43? Maybe it's 43% here in Vegas, was 23% nationally. Either way, it's significantly more than we normally see. And that's what happens during a time like this. And the supply and demand is so lopsided at the moment with regard to, we got more people than we got houses. People think we're in this housing bubble. We're not in a housing bubble. We are in a people bubble, if anything, but I don't think the people are going to pop. So real estate is one of our essential needs, and there's enough demand to fulfill whatever's available out there. Marvel Diaz, how do I join the Legends Challenge? So you see the link right there, Marvel, on the screen? Not the link, but you see the domain name. I think that's in your lower left-hand corner. Oh, right over here. There, right there. Go to the Legends Challenge. Read all about it. Make sure it's for you, okay? And if you want to join us, please do. We'd love to have you. And then by the end of, let's see, we're going June 30th is when we start. So by July 10th, the goal is to have each and every single participant in the Legends Challenge have a signed contract. And whoever has a signed contract by the end of the Legends Challenge, I will stick with you all the way to the end to make sure that you profit from it as well. Okay, and that is a guarantee. And we've got the guarantee in writing there, so you can check that out as well. All right, y'all. Good to see you, and hang in there. If there's a lot of bad news out there right now, right? But there's no better place to be inside of real estate. And you've got to go take the offensive position on producing an income. Do not go stick your head in the sand. Do not go and play it safe and wait for this thing to blow over, because you're going to find yourself a lot poorer once it's all said and done. Put yourself on the right side of inflation with real estate and financing, whether that's traditional or creative, and you're actually going to come out far wealthier because of inflation. That's how you play the game. All right. And I want to help you guys play that. I want to help you guys win. All right, y'all. You have a good one.